Hello. This is Notary Life with Kimmi. Well, today, guys, we are talking about control at the signing table or general notary, wherever we are. And I have to do me some Janet Jackson control. Control. Be it loan signing or general notary, you set the tone for the whole interaction. So we've had other conversations about that, but today we're going to strictly talk about what that looks like, okay? So for example, when you are handling general notary, you take control of the conversation the moment the phone starts ringing. Thank you for calling None Better Notary, and then you start asking your questions. And remember, questions equal money. How many signers do we have? Will you need witnesses for your documents? All of these types of things let the caller know that you are the expert. You are the expert. So take control from the initial phone call. Now, when we're talking about loan signing, so we're going to go back and forth. We're talking about loan signing with the phone call. You take control from the initial phone call, and that sounds like this. Hi, Mr. Smith. I'm going to be your notary for your signing of your documents on Monday. Just a few things I like to go over with you. So when you're setting the tone, you set the expectation as the notary that I am there to facilitate the signing, to confirm your identification, and to collect the signatures. Set the tone. That way they already know, oh, well, she's not the person to ask about my interest rate. She's not the person to ask about ... or why ... There are certain things that you can go over with your signer, but overall you want to set the tone that that is not what you're there for, to go over everything that they've been already talking to their mortgage representative about for months. Now, also at the same time during that screening call with your loan signing, if you're required to complete a Patriot Act, which you normally are, a Patriot Act is a form from the government that requires the ID of all borrowers to be confirmed, because they're trying to avoid money laundering. So you want to make sure that during that initial screening call, you ask them to have that ID ready. If you know from looking at your package that they're going to have to give you a checking account number, also during that initial screening, make sure that they have that already prepared when you get there. So that sounds something like this. Okay, Mr. Smith, when I get there, I will have to confirm your ID via 2 different forms of ID. If you can already have prepared your driver's license and your insurance card for your vehicle or your homeowners or whatever your second piece of ID will be, that would be greatly appreciated. Also, I noticed that they are having you to provide a checking account number to collect your funds at the end of the signing. Would you also be able to have that already prepared? So you want to have all of this on the front end because it's going to save you time at the table. If they have to get up from the table, that means they're not signing. And a lot of times, I've done another video, they will try to stretch it out and keep you there just because they want company. So no, we're going to, in an initial call, make sure we get as much accomplished and let them know what we need prior to getting there. And that's going to help you to speed up the process at the table. Also in your general notary work, the more questions on the front end, the less time on the back end. So what else does that look like? You also want to make sure that if you're at a signing, you put the date in the middle of the table. That's just a little tip, and that will help you to facilitate the signing, because everybody's like, what's today's date? What's today's date? And that'll go on for 10 minutes just trying to figure out what the date is. So that's just another tip to take control of the signing. Make sure that the date is clearly in the table. However you need them to write. Sometimes you might have them do a sample signature. Okay, Mr. Smith, I see your signature on this document. They're requiring your middle initial, so we want to make sure we include that. As much as you can do. During your initial screening on both general notary and loan signing, you want to make sure to confirm if they need witnesses. I have had people come and they realize that they need a witness, or a poor screening on my part, or they realize they need a second one when they get here. I don't know which one it is. And they'll say, can you ask your neighbor, can they be a witness for me? And I'm thinking to myself, no. I don't want to ask my neighbor because I don't want my neighbor to even know what I'm doing over here. So make sure that you do that. Or they try to grab a stranger in the street and say, hey, can you get that person? I'm like, you can go ask that person. You know, so sometimes they're embarrassed to ask the person to be a witness. But if we handle that in the front end, we can avoid the embarrassment for themselves and for us on the back end. So that's another thing we want to make sure if they need witnesses or not. When you get to a signing, especially at a home, and this is something else in the beginning you might even ask, or let them know, hey, we'll need a table that will be clear and free so we'll be able to sign the loan documents. Or when you go to general notary, you kind of look around the area, kind of see where you might have to set up if you're not going to use your car, and just look for a hard surface. Always have your clipboards. Again, you're taking control of your environment. The more you're in control, that's going to give you the confidence to be able to be the notary that you need to be. Because a lot of times you're scared of the unknown. Where am I going to set up? What does the house look like? Do they have dogs? Do they have this? So we try to get as much of that out the room initially with our screening process. Also, let's see what else I have here. Oh, as far as the living room and a table, when you get there, I already mentioned it a little bit, but when you get there, kind of scout out, because sometimes there may be a dining room table that you can set up and you can actually do the signing, but they'll try to put you in the living room because it's a little fancier. No, I'll even say something to the effect, do you mind if we set up over there at the dining table? I see we have a little more room. Oh, sure, because they want to put their best foot forward. So sometimes they'll probably try to put you in their most beautiful room, but that's not the most effective place for you to do your signing. So just casually ask them, hey, if you don't mind, can we do it over there? They'll usually say yes. A couple other tips for you. Don't talk a lot during the signing, period. Get there early enough to do your chit chat. Even in general notary, get there. I always allow, like I say in other videos, about 5 minutes for chit chat. Hey, how's your day going? ... And take control again, because they will be chatty catty, talk. Because a lot of people right now, especially under COVID, they don't have anything else to do. So when they get anybody to come, they're excited. So you take control of the conversation. How much time we're going to allow for chit chat? And then once that signing starts, we're focused on the signing. Oh, Mr. Smith, I'd love to hear that story. If you give me just a few minutes, I'm going to get back to that because I really want to talk about it. And just put the conversation on pause. They'll follow your lead. This is the whole point of this video. You set the tone. You are in control. You are the notary. Same thing with that talking thing. When you're double checking your documents at the completion of your signing, be it general or loan signing, we are not chit-chatting. Mr. Smith, give me 2 more seconds. I'm just going to finish double checking these documents. I want to make sure nothing's wrong so it doesn't stall the process. Or I don't want you to have to come back and get it done again. Take control of the conversation. No drinking at the table. Why do I say that? They say, would you like a bottle of water? No, thank you. And they'll try to drink their coffee. I had a client, and I cracked myself up at this one. So she says, I'm a morning person. I got to have my coffee, right? So she has, her daughter brings her over a big cup of coffee. I mean, big like that. And I was like, oh, do you mind if we just finish this? It won't take us but a few minutes. And then you can do that. So I really don't want anything to happen to your documents for them to get wet. And you know how things happen. So we had a little laugh about it. Not even 2 minutes later, her husband comes in with a bigger cup of coffee. And I said to myself, really? So I said, they really want you to have your coffee this morning, right? So I know people are fanatical about their coffee sometimes, but I'm fanatical about my documents. And I want to make sure that they're not wet or destroyed before I can finish this signing. So just another tip, kindly, politely, do you mind if we have that afterwards? Because you want to get your document signed complete with no problem. So also when it comes to your documents at the loan signing, you want to always double check your documents prior to going. So you're going to become, like I say, one with that package. So you're checking everything. Where do they need to sign? Where do they need to initial? What do I need to collect? So you're doing all of that beforehand, taking control of your package at this point. I am not handing my whole package to a client. I am in control at all times. Now, does that slow it down a little bit? I've heard people say that they hand the whole package to the client and then they just go page by page like that. I'm never giving control of my documents up like that. I'm handing that document one by one. Does it take maybe 5 minutes longer that way? Yes. But as they're signing it, I'm double checking it. They sign, I double check. They initial, I double check. So that's part of my checking process. So I'm not handing them the whole package. Oh, you can handle it. No. Also, when you are at the loan signing table or in general notary work, you take control of where the person sits. If you go in and it's a husband and a wife signing, you want the first signer here, second signer here, and you here. You want a circle. That paper should just be circling the table. Do. So I'm not having the husband sit on the couch and the wife is sitting over here at the dining table and I'm sitting with one of them. No. I'm going to take control. Okay, Mr. Smith, if you don't mind, I'll have you sit here and I'll have Mrs. Smith sit here, and then I'll sit here, and we'll just have like a little assembly line. And they usually have a little joke about that. So take control even of where they sit at the table, because again, you're in control. You want your signing to go as smooth as possible. You want it to go as fast as possible without any errors. And a lot of that is just the placement of people, the placement of the people, the placement of the documents, and where we're located. So take control even of where they sit. I hope these tips will help you take control of your signing table. Well, this has been Notary Life with Kimmi. Okay, bye.